Greetings, friends. I wanted to share my thoughts with you on how you can avoid malicious energy. These are just my thoughts. This is not the truth. This is just how I make sense of it. And I'm reacting in part to a video I saw last night by one of my new favorite YouTubers who's called John Razimus. And he's been a YouTuber for many years. I'll give you a link to his video in the description where he's in this video talking about his experience being haunted by a poltergeist for 6 months in several different houses that he lived in California. And so these thoughts I'm going to share with you would not have worked for John Razimus because he had to deal with this poltergeist and there was nothing he could do about it. This thing would be bugging him no matter what he did. He just had to adapt to it. I've been very lucky in my life. I don't think I've ever been followed by a poltergeist. I don't think I've ever been haunted. I do believe I've been in some haunted places. I do believe I've been around some very negative people, some people with very bad energy. So, although I'm giving this video partly in response to what I saw, it's a very frightening situation. And literally, I slept okay, but it was I was watching this video late at night, so it was kind of spooky. I mean, like I said, I'll give you the link, but he goes into description about what this poltergeist did. It was like this, you couldn't see it, but it was kind of like an imp or a monkey. It was really fucking with him. And the interesting thing Razimus had to say is you never communicate with a demon. Don't ever start getting into any relationship with it. Ignore it. You don't want to build up some sort of relationship that it's gonna. But anyways, that's him. That's his insight, which I really appreciate. Anyways, so this isn't specifically a paranormal video, but it'll have some obviously paranormal themes to it. So my first suggestion to avoid malicious energy, and of course I'm defining malicious energy very broadly here. Okay, I know it could be coming from, it could be feeling, it could be sentiment towards you that you're very conscious of. It could be something much more diffuse, something that only your subconscious picks up on. But basically, if you are conscious that there are some really bad people in your life at work, or in a relationship, avoid these people as much as you can. You must avoid bad mind people in this life. You might call them blood clot, you might call them Babylon, jealous people, hateful people, or vampires in the sense that they want to continually suck energy out of you, drain you of all your energy for their own emotional benefit or maybe to dominate you. So avoid these people. If you're stuck in a situation you can't avoid these people, well, maybe you need to think really deeply about what you're doing in your life and you need to reevaluate that. Number two, don't move into haunted houses. If you don't believe in haunted houses, then that probably won't bother you. Either you'll have a terrible experience there and then you will believe in haunted houses and then you'll be more aware of that when you're checking out a new place. But if you already believe in haunted houses, then at least you might be a more perceptive person. So pay attention to that. Don't just accept a place to live in if you haven't had a chance to walk through it slowly, paying attention to how does it feel, how does the neighborhood feel. A lot of factors. You have to give your subconscious and your conscious mind time to process these things. Don't just rush into a decision. Don't feel forced, because the last thing you want to be living in is a really creepy place where you have to move. So think of natural light. Think of how much natural light does this place get. I think that does play a factor. I mean, obviously, many things can play a factor in hauntings. This is not a video about hauntings, but I do think if you want to avoid these malicious energy, you need to just avoid bad people. You need to avoid bad places. Now, if you're living in a place that's otherwise fine, do not sleep in a room. Never choose a room which is directly opposite the front entrance. This is bad. I don't know much about, what do they call it? Feng Shui, or, the Chinese energy, where they place things in the garden or where they place things in their house. There are these natural energy flows. And I did have the experience of sleeping in a room when I was lodging in Colombia, and that's another story, but I slept extremely poorly, and that was for different reasons, but something about being right across from the front entrance into that apartment is just really bad feeling. I don't know what it is. It's very disruptive. There's an energy flow from the center of this apartment building. Maybe that would have more to do with it. Think about where your bedroom is in relation to different. Now, this just might be a noise issue and a sleeping issue, but I think it goes a bit deeper than that. And I haven't given it the thought to really share with you in this video. Maybe I can come back to that later. So, fourth suggestion would be consider prayer. Maybe you're not, again, some people just aren't spiritual, but the basic idea with prayer is it's a positive thing. You're asserting something, and the main idea is gratitude. You don't have to believe in a specific God, but the idea is expressing gratitude to something beyond yourself. You might not call that God. Could be the universe, could be a great spirit. At least you're recognizing how blessed you are to be alive and breathing with food, to be on this earth right now, to have everything that you have. Give thanks, give gratitude all the time, and the universe will reward you. It works in a very funny way. You have to sort of even be thankful for things you haven't received yet. You almost have to trick yourself in this kind of funny way, and then the universe will go along with you. So basically, be positive, and prayer, even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes a day, can go a long way. It might not immediately benefit you in the way you're expecting, and it'll come back to you pretty soon. But you have to be open and willing to accept that it may come in some way that you didn't predict. But it will come back to you. All these benefits will come back to you. The universe will deliver to you whatever you put out to it. And the fifth and related suggestion would be meditation. I've talked about meditation before, as I've done a previous video on that, and it's sort of related to prayer. It's different though. Meditation is emptying the mind of all thoughts and stabilizing your mind, balancing yourself. There's a sinking sensation. It re-energizes you. It probably has some effect on your aura. I'm not really sure what that would be, but it probably does have a positive effect on your energy flow around your body. It'll make you emotionally more balanced. Even if you've lost sleep, it'll improve your mood. And all of these things, I'm getting into just basically positive lifestyle advice, right? So none of this might not be specific to avoiding malicious energy, but part of avoiding malicious energy means being positive and having sort of that positive charge, that positive frequency that's naturally going to repel negative entities. Could be negative people or things we don't see, things that are invisible, that are in an alternate dimension, like demons, which could be, apparently, I guess poltergeists could be demons, as I'm learning. I thought poltergeists were ghosts. They could be ghosts. They could be not human at all. But you still have to repel these things. And then, of course, sunlight, like I said, living in a place with natural light, getting lots of exercise, eating healthy food. Again, all these things are putting you in a more of a positive vibration. You're less likely to have negative energies catch on to you and put you down. Because whether it's a negative person or some other entity, they want your feeling to go down. They want you to have that snowball effect, and they want to build on it and make you feel worse and make you more fear. Fear and anger. Those basically, they go together. But you have to allow fear to pass through. Everyone gets angry, but allow it to pass through. Don't dwell on it. Don't allow it to grow permanently like a cancer inside of you. Then you could be more open to attracting negativity into your life in all sorts of other mysterious ways. Just like positivity will reward you in unforeseen ways, who knows what could be the reverse with negativity, reward you in unforeseen negative ways. The seventh and final suggestion, I had to include this in the video. Many people are going to disagree with this, but I just have to, as a free thinker, I just have to think freely here and give you my honest opinion. I'm not an authority figure. And I would say that weed, cannabis, is a disinfectant for the bad mind. It's disinfectant for bad mind people. And weed is despised today, still by many, many people. Maybe it's more culturally accepted, but it will always be despised by many, many people, just as it always has been throughout history. It's despised, interestingly, by religious people. Maybe not all religions, but you can think of, Christian conservatives. They don't really like the whole weed thing, and other religions too. But then, interestingly, non-religious people too, a lot of them, they don't want anything to do with it either. Some people just don't like, weed isn't for everyone, obviously. weed is not for everyone. Everyone has a different neurochemistry, so it's not for everyone. Some people could get really nervous if they smoke it, could get really paranoid, like too paranoid. But yeah, for me, maybe I've never been attacked by any poltergeist or anything like that. And yes, weed has been a part of my life for some years now, many years. And but I just think it's part of the whole positive thing. Like the bad mind, maybe wizards and witches like weed. It depends. Like the shamans, they like psychedelics, but in the bad sense of the witch and the wizard. And this is coming to me from my friend in Ghana, in Africa. And he's the one who actually told me this. So this is not my completely independent thought. I know there's some other people in the world who do see weed as this kind of disinfectant. Now it could be just a disinfectant from the aroma. And we're talking more into the paranormal here. We're talking more like it doesn't, like, bad entities are repelled by this thing. And then of course in the waking world, generally the weed smoker has to retreat to some place far away from the bad mind people anyways. So it's kind of like the natural conclusion to avoiding bad places, or well, maybe not always bad places, but bad people, bad situations. By definition, you have to escape them if you want to smoke weed. But then when you are smoking weed, the smoke itself, again, I'm superstitious in some ways. I touch wood. I'm not entirely rational if you've been paying attention to this channel. I mean, okay, rational, whatever that is. But yeah, there's something going on there. And so yeah, I'm sure that'll get a whole bunch of crazy comments. Oh, you stupid pothead. But whatever. I mean, obviously, weed is something I use to my advantage. And bad mind people don't like the light, just like demons don't like the light. And that's what I think is going on here. So you got to have the positive vibration. And I wish you all the best. But honestly, none of these things would work for John Razimus. He had some poltergeist haunting him for 6 months. And it's terrifying. And the video, nothing in the video was all too. It's just a very creepy video, and so I'll put the link to at least one of them there. But none of these things would have worked for him. He just had to deal with that, and you know what? He was able to survive in the end. He just like learned how to sleep with this thing, throwing things around his house, and trying to fuck with him, trying to get him down all the time, and he didn't pay attention to it. He just did his thing. And eventually, I guess it left him. But I swear to hell, I don't wish that on anyone. I don't know how I would cope with that. Then you're going to just have to leave the place. You're going to have to do something really serious. So there's malicious energy in the world, okay? There are bad mind people here in the waking world. There's bad mind entities in the beyond as well. That's just something we have to deal with. We have to be more aware of that. Anyways, that's all I have to say for now. Hasta luego, amigos.